France against Poland, round one. The round robin in the 8 teams that we have left is starting. So yeah, we're down to 8. We're down to 8 teams, and we're going to play out a full round robin between them. All best of 5 matches. The European Nations Cup qualifier continues, and the top 4 in the ranking are then going to make it to the offline event in Berlin at the 10th and 11th of June. But not only the players can go there, so guys, if you live in Berlin or if you want to combo that off with a city trip to Berlin, you're more than welcome to join us. It's taking place at the Experian in Berlin at the Alexanderplatz, so really just central, super central. There's tons of hotels nearby, public transport is absolutely awesome. We don't have tickets, so entrance is free, and we had already a lot of people just like talking about how they booked their flights, they booked their train, they booked their hotels, and everybody that didn't know the location or didn't know the Alexanderplatz was immediately like, holy hell, you weren't joking, this is really just fully in the center with lots of good connections. So I can only recommend, check it out. If you watch this on YouTube, there's several links in the description that you can have a closer look at, more details about the event itself and what's going to happen there. And there's also a link to the venue, so to the Experian, which is kind of interesting too, because you can have a look at what the venue looks like, also previous events that they hosted. There's a lot of pictures that they have. If you have any questions, they also got a Q&A somewhere there, so make sure to check that out. Very happy with the entire Nations Cup setup. We of course have international Heroes of the Storm there, so we get a team in from North America, and we also get a team from Asia, and then 4 European teams that will participate there. France is one of the favorites. There's, of course, also Germany, and then there's Sweden, but France is definitely one of the favorites to qualify for the offline event. Poland, very strong team too, but at least in this particular series, they are a little bit of an underdog. Now, the one thing to point out is that every single map matters. Of course, match score is the first priority when we're talking about the standings, but maps are super important, so even if you go up against an opponent that is probably a bit stronger than you, if you can just lock in a map victory, can cheese them out somewhere, or maybe even take 2, that really helps you against your direct competition then in the standing later on. So something to keep in mind here as we're heading towards game number 1. For the Quasar, we get Hogger, we get Diablo and Brightwing for them. Masquerade today not playing with them. Again, there's a lot happening with a full 8-team round robin. There's tons and tons of matches, of course. So there's going to be a lot of teams that might not have their full lineup for a particular series. That's why most of the teams have a sub player, can just simply sub somebody in. Then for a match like this one is exactly what we're seeing from France. On the side of the Polish team, though, when it comes to bans, final one, they're getting rid of Hanzo here on Dragonshire, our first map in the best of 5. And on the other side, the Dehaka ban. So Blaze against Hogger is going to be our top lane. Hogger obviously always super strong there. First pick in this case, even for the French team. And they're coming through with a final ban in our first game. Another quick thing that I want to point out too is, guys, again, if you want to support efforts like this to have offline Heroes of the Storm with international teams on top of that, then check out the crowdfunding. It's linked in the description on YouTube, so have a look there. We have some sponsors, all private sponsors, by the way. We're living in a time where Blizzard has completely abandoned Heroes of the Storm, especially Heroes of the Storm esports. It's nearly impossible to get a company to sponsor events there because, again, they're looking at the producer of the game. They're just saying like, well, even they are abandoning the game, so why would we now chip into that market? So we have Heroes of the Storm fans that are actually helping to set all of this up, but we're still also relying on community support to make the events better and also to host more in the future. We had 2 last year, both in Miami. Now we're doing 1 in Berlin, and we're hoping to do even more offline events in the future. So if you want to help out with those efforts, and check out the link for the crowdfunding, and you can support that right there. We get Muradin as the main tank on Dragonshire for Poland. Always a good pick here. Has been played a lot also in HGC times, Dignitas in particular with JPL. Really love to pick him. Now we get Tychus and Chromie. The damage is in for the French, and that leaves us with the final pick for game number 1. Alvaros. What's it going to be for Dragonshire? They have Genji so far, and then of course was banned then as a response so that there's no combo with Light Bomb, but they still need a little bit more than Genji, and it is Nazebo! That is the second Nazebo pick now that we are seeing in the first round of the round robin. So let's go! Nazebo's in the house, it's Witch Doctor time. We get game number 1, France against Poland. Game number 1 between the baguettes and the pierogi. On the left side, Banana on Brightwing for the French team. We got Dequaza on Hogger, starting things off with Yasu on Tychus this time. Nagrom on Diablo and the Panda Colada on Chromie. This team is kind of funny to me because they have so many players that are main supports. Not saying that they can't play any other roles or haven't in the past, but still tons of main supports on their side. So there's a lot of role swapping going on. Whereas Poland on the right side playing things out with Lavekal on Rega. We got Alvaros on Azebo, Richo on Blaze, Itrax on Genji, and twice on Muradin. Thing of the Deep on level 1. This is, by the way, a talent that still makes me laugh because I don't even remember what the initial configuration for that talent was. But Blizzard at the beginning, I think, gave this 30% of increased range, and then also the spell power that you would get was even higher, I think 20% or something. I don't remember the numbers, but it was so insanely ridiculous that everybody with 2 brain cells to rub together was immediately saying like, what is this? Like, this is the most imba stuff we've ever seen. And then you had some apologists running up, no, you haven't even seen the talent yet. It's not as good as you think. I think it took Blizzard about a week to realize how broken this was. All the players having a field day in that week. And then they nerfed it. It's still good, still solid. But yeah, sometimes you really think it was a mistake to make weed legal in California because it had an impact on a lot of the balancing with a lot of fantastic talents that were, or games that were pushed out there. So yeah. Either way, we now have a bit of an invade apparently happening down at the bottom of the map as the French were saying, you know what's great? Mercenary camps. You know what's better? Your mercenary camp. So they are going for that, and even the game is shocked and stutters for a second. So now we got 23 stacks. Camp is stolen, and they want the kill too. So they're coming in, trying to take twice down, but he's able to survive. All right, pretty easy, able to get away. It's actually kind of funny to me also that the Polish team is now playing in red. Very, very fitting, and the Frenchies are playing in blue. Allez le bleu! So, let's see what they can do here. Mass Assassin for the attack speed. Basically, or mainly, on Odin. And we got the Magic Spit. Blah! Brightwing being disgusting. More disgusting than usual, and just spitting around everywhere. After the Thing of the Deep, we got now the Blood Ritual for Nazebo. As the Witch Doctor is getting his stacks for the baseline. Yeah, and off we go again. Out at the top, they're trying to turn it on Muradin, as the Dwarf initially made the move for Nagrom. Nagrom, of course, also super versatile player, main tank, but he has played support in the past, and particularly for Team last year in Miami. Oh boy. Yeah, they get some control back on the shrines. Also very interesting to me personally that we have Dragonshire as our first map. Normally when you're talking about first maps, this is not one that comes to mind. The first Dragonite is already taken, as the French team is able to take the lead on the objective here. Now, they are the clear favorite, of course, in this particular battle. There's no denying that, and I talked about this earlier. This is one of the teams that is at least anticipated to make it to the offline event. Now, upsets can happen, don't get me wrong, but currently they are justifying their role as the favorite team in this best of 5, taking the early objective. We haven't seen a kill yet, so both of the teams so far without a single kill, but the front wall has been taken down in the middle of the map. Nice play here with the DK, not completely wasting it or anything, just playing this out slowly, relying a lot on the Dragon's Breath to burn these minion waves down and try and get some lane control, while at the top lane we have 3 heroes applying additional pressure, Blaze being the only one attempting to defend against this. So there's that. Another hit, yeah, nice wall stun, but Stormbolt is unfortunately missing. I think that was the second time that Twice was missing that one. Top side though, Richu is also losing a tower. So there's a lot of pressure on the lanes against Poland. They are doing their best to try and hold on to it. Good stacking from Nazebo, by the way. This could really play a big role as the game continues. Nazebo now also with the Dead Rush over here. But he could have a big impact in the later stages of the game if he continues to stack the way that he currently does. They are trying to stop him by killing him. But for now, he's doing work, and they get the kill. This is first blood for the Polish team. Napierdalai. They come in, take down Tigers, steal the camp, and get value. It comes at a cost, though, because, oh, first of all, they're losing Genji, but I was more so talking about our boy up at the top. Quasar is completely murdering this fort here. So not only did he break through the wall, but he's also done some damage to the fort itself. The Zebo on level 20, that could be a game changer. So this could be kind of interesting if he gets to the stacks. On level 7, we have the Malevolence. We also have with Chromie on level 10. I love the zombie walls. Going full World War Z. World War Z zombies are the best zombies. So, yeah, either way. With that, we now have the slowing stance, which is basically what I wanted to talk about. So they didn't go into the temporal loop, but slowing stance instead, so a bit more zone control for them. Top side, we now have Hogga going up against Blaze. 88 stacks for our boy Nazebo. Camp still up and could be taken, but they have to help out Ritual a bit too. Next objective is also coming up, so another opportunity for the French team to maybe get another Dragonite for themselves here. And down at the bottom of the map, well, first of all, look at Itrex trying to get Banana H, forcing at least the fountain cooldown. And down here with Brightwing now chipping in, I guess we're gonna see the end of Murden. Yeah, a bit unfortunate for him. Still an attack here, level 10 on both sides, and they get Genji too. It was a nice and sweet move by Genji trying to come in and take down Hogga and steal the camp away from them, but Banana H reacted immediately, and with Brightwing appearing, there was just no chance for Genji any longer, and the CC that came into play at that point, of course, helped to also take him down. So, Genji gone, Nazebo hasn't made a choice yet, but with the double control again on the Shrine, we're gonna see a second Dragonite for the French team. So whereas Poland got first blood and is also doing work with Nazebo, we still have a very tight objective control by the French team. Yeah, the Baguettes might have some trouble on Tigers, but Brightwing comes in again. X-Strike, and Tigers probably still gonna fall. They really follow up on it and they take him down. But as all of this happens, the top fort is about to fall. They at least get their kills, though. They draw even in kills to take 2 down, but the top fort is now lost, and the Dragonite has in the meantime rotated down to the bottom of the map, where he goes up against Gary the Gargantuan and a couple of Siege Giants. So still value for the French team, but they have lost that big edge that they had previously. So in the experience, the gap has mostly been closed by the Polish team. But this obviously isn't over just yet. Maybe another kill in the cards for Poland. They're trying. Stormbolts connect, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Even with Blaze rotating in for another stun. Yeah, but you know what? Twice. Gets the Ancestral. They go for Yasu. Stormbolt is there. Genji's on him. Attempting to take him down. The Apocalypse not getting any stun, only forcing them to zone a little bit. And X-Strike! And Genji dies. No support from the rest of the team, so Taika survives. Genji goes down. Now they're chasing Blaze. They might be able to take him, forcing him to bunker at least. And Nagrom! Yeah, comes in from the side, getting the stun, but then he becomes the target a moment later and nearly falls. Got stunned within range of the fort even. So, damn. 4 kills, 2-3. Level 13 talents for the French team. Chromie at the bottom of the map is about to take down another fort, the second one here. And Quasar is already back at the top, pushing the lane out. So the Polish team, they're fighting back as best they can, but the Frenchies, pretty strong. They might lose Yasu again, though. Tigers, they really got a hard on for him, but every single time that Genji goes deep to try and get the kill, he gets turned on and gets murdered. So Genji dying how many times now? 3, 4? 4 times. Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job controlling Genji whenever he makes the approach and commits to the attack. So right now, another fort about to fall, and yeah, Poland is losing ground. They're level behind, they lost every single fort that they held previously. And it's tough. They're losing the mercenary camps too. So France is taking more and more control of the game. Now, there is still Nazebo to consider as a next factor. He's at 146 stacks. And he's going to get more. There's Diablo again with the Apocalypse. Ice block, nice. Good move by Alvaros. The Rhaegar ready with his ult, helping them out. Stun, X-Strike, and there it is. The kill on Diablo. He had his soul stacks. He's going to be back. The Polish team, I like it. They're still being aggressive. I really, really like it a lot. If Itrax is able to have a bit more of an impact with Genji and not die in these situations, he gets more of an assist. They might just be able to turn this around eventually, but with the Zebo now dying, they're also stopping his stacking progress. He's still going to be able to get his stacks for the Vial Infection. The bigger question is, are they going to make it to level 20? That's a bigger one, honestly. So, for now, the bot lane is what's getting attacked. And I should also highlight that we have another objective up for grabs. One shrine already under the control of the French team. Blaze has taken control of the top. Level 16 is the big concern now. The French team, they want the keep and they are just burning it down. Yeah, they're melting it away here. Even if they don't take it right away, because they don't want to fall victim to a counterattack, with level 16 they can now push in again, and it shouldn't be a problem to just from afar, slowly and steadily siege up on it. I mean, Tiger's alone with another grenade can do a lot. They're already trying to bait them out a little bit. The French, yeah, there they go. Take it apart. And now they're baiting them a little bit deeper on the chase, attempting to utilize level 16. Apocalypse connects. They go for Muradin twice in the bunker. Gets out. Ancestral keeps him alive. Itrax is low and zips away as Richu is trying to escape, but Diablo finds the angle and gets the stun. Yasuo then again is also low, and Tigers finally falls. And they all get out. Look at the hit points. Insanity. All of them survive, and it is Tigers that falls. Job well done by Poland. They still maintain control over the top shrine, but of course the French team is now going to try and claim it, get the Dragon Knight, and maybe even go for core. If not, then take a second keep. Quests completed for, well, Nazebo. Technically speaking, he's hit the threshold. But of course, the question is still, can they get to level 20? 7 kills to 5, nearly level 16 for Poland. 40,000 damage for Genji, 30,000 for Nazebo, 53k for Tigers. Now, they're trading shrines again, so no threat of an objective claimed by France. This would be their third, keep that in mind. And with level 16, we now have at least an even battle between them. Ring of Poison is in as the talent for Nazebo, a little bit of synergy with the level 7 talent. And Chromie now turns into a real dragon. So finally, I mean, she's pretty happy about that, obviously. So, yeah. She's been a fake dragon her entire life. Just totally misguided, totally delusional. But now she turns into a real dragon, at least temporarily. So off we go. He's dropping some damage here with the Dragon's Breath, and this is the third objective now for the French team. Defense attempt. Here comes Odin. Odin and Gary. Gary the Gigantian up at the front, also trying to create some space and save that keep. Bit of an ass kicking for Blaze as he gets kicked out. Game number 1, France is looking good. 200 stacks for Nazebo. They're coming in for, well, mainly for Diablo. Also trying to burn the Dragon Knight down as quickly as they can. The keep is still looking alright. They get the kill on Diablo. Nicely done. Once again, he had full stacks, but he still needs to now get back to the team. And before that happens, they might get another kill. And indeed they do. Hogger falls. 7 kills to 7. Poland is still in this. Poland is still fighting this out here. Brightwing jumped out. They want the Chrome Star. Trying to piggy it out. Where's that Starball when you need it? Ah, nope. Not hitting anything. Oh, and he gets caught mid-jump by Diablo. Muradin is dead. Blaze had to defeat the catapults here. Shield was nearly gone. And now it's a 4 versus 4 on the map. Level 19 versus level 17. The party continues, and France is in the lead, and Poland is fighting for level 20. They are trying to get in a position where Nazebo can be the one that turns the game around. Vial Infection would be fantastic for them, but can they get there? big question mark, honestly. 2 minutes? It's a big gap. Huge gap. The Zebo sitting at 39,000 damage. Genji has now pushed up to 50,000. 68k for Tigers though, and now he has the big red button. So, yeah. Next objective is going to be rough. Because there will be an advantage in talents for the blue team. And Poland is already struggling, saving their keep in the middle as it gets attacked again and again and again. And the shrines are activating in 30. There's no way that they're gonna claim level 20 in that time frame for themselves. And now that Rega... Yeah, Rega... Oh, is he alive? Rega's alive! And he gets away? What? The team is still in trouble though, especially with Muradin now killed. Rega is dead too. And that's the end of Genji, and this should actually be the end of the game. Dragon Knight or no Dragon Knight, they're gonna get the keep for sure. And then they can go for the core. Poland got close. 11 kills to 7. They made this a lot closer than I initially expected. But France is just a little bit too strong. Now they take down Blaze that only leaves Nazebo. And he's dead too. 5-man team wipe to finish game number 1. The French team, they take the 1-0 lead over their opponents in this European qualifier. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2, Infernal Shrines. The French team is ahead. Le Bleu, they're doing work. And yeah, I'm actually very, very curious if the Polish team can at least take a map here, because they surprised in game number 1. I really like the way that they approached this. A lot of aggression, a lot of kills, and some of these encounters that they had, especially with Genji in the early mid-game, if he gets the kill, looks a little bit different. But again, quick reminder, heroes that have been played cannot be played again. It's a little bit of an adjustment, it's a bit of a compromise with Meta Madness. We're not going full out of the box with all of the picks here. There's no pre-bans or anything. There might be some for the offline event, all hinging on the crowdfunding. So if you want to check that out and want to have additional information, you can, as I explained earlier, click the link in the description of the video and have a look at the crowdfunding itself. But here, for all the qualifiers for these group stages, there's no pre-ban, so it's only heroes that have been played cannot be played again. Makes it a bit more interesting for the audience and the players. You don't see the same heroes over and over again. So yeah. Bans on Junkrat and on Mephisto. We get on Infernal Shrines as our second map. And I'm very much looking forward to what the Polish team is doing right now. It was actually kind of funny because Lavekal is one of the players. He jumped into the Twitch chat in one of the earlier series, and we were talking about people that, you know, already booked their flights and booked their hotels for Berlin that want to come visit. And he immediately chipped in. He's like, yeah, well, I want to come too, but I haven't booked anything yet because I'm still hoping to directly qualify for the events. And they have a chance. Poland definitely has a chance to go. Now, as I said before, there's 3 teams that are clear favorites, and we could see some upsets there. We already had some in the Asian qualifier, for example. But even if those 3 teams claim 3 of the 4 spots, there's still one left that everybody can be fighting for. So it's very important that you at least win a map or 2. And of course, it becomes even more important when you're going up against a team that is not one of the clear favorites. So in this particular series, France is expected to win. But if Poland takes a map or 2, or maybe even gains some momentum and decides the entire thing for themselves, that would be huge. We got Stukov and Greymane, so working around the lurking arm on the objective, and Greymane not only for push, but also another couple of bullets here, most likely. There are some really strong teams. I mean, Spain surprised me too. Spain in their match against Denmark, they just crushed. It was insane to watch. It was like, what's happening here? And whatever these guys had for breakfast, it's fantastic. One of the things actually, like, now that I'm talking breakfast, I'm thinking about like snacks and other stuff. And one of the things that I did not know or never had in my entire life until I moved to Spain, and they have it at one of the local supermarkets here, are flapjacks. Never had that before. Didn't know what it was. Never had it before. Really good. And then when I was in Slovakia for a wedding just a few weeks ago, they had like so many different kinds, and that stuff is just absolutely awesome. Love it. But over here we only have one version. It's the only one that I found so far. And in a lot of other countries, especially for example in Germany, I've never really seen that. I would assume that you have a lot of that in the US too, but I never really looked for it there when I lived there. So yeah, super interesting, but a little bit of deviation away. How did I actually ended up with that? Something with snacks. Spain snacks, yeah. Whatever. We're talking too much about food on this channel. So yeah. We get Varian, we get Malfurion, so taunt into a follow-up from Malfurion with the roots as the support lays down the lawn. Hanzo and Leo. There's actually a lot that they can do to follow up on any of these, and in addition to that, we have a lot of wave clear now. Oh, there's another Medivh. We had Nano for the Spanish team already play Medivh on Infernal Shrines, and now it's apparently Alvaros that's gonna do the same for Poland. The Panda Colada, then again, for the French team. What's it gonna be? What are the frogs logging in as their last one? Nah. Actually hesitating. They need some additional damage. It can be a melee is fine, but they still need somebody that helps them with the damage. So it is Kelthas. Nice. We get some Fire Mage here. Salami Boy is in the house. Infernal Shrines, everybody. Map number 2, France against Poland. Game number 2, Infernal Shrines, and on the left we got Dequaza. On Leoric, Allele Bleu, Yazu with Hanzo, Banana on Malfurion, the Panda Colada playing Kelthas, Shalanor, Salami, and we got Nagrom on Varian. Right side of the map, it is Poland, Lavakal on Stukov, Richu on Sonia, we got Itrax on Greymane, twice on Johanna, and Alvaros on Medivh. The French are happy. And TeamSpeak or Discord, wherever they're using, they're probably full of song and dance and wine. Sur le pont d'Avignon, l'onidos, l'onidos. So yeah, the French are happy, they got the lead. But if they get too drunk on French wine right now, they might be punished by the Polish team, who was already showing some really nice aggression in game number 1, but just couldn't quite crack it there. So off we go again, with them immediately making a move for first blood. Have to be careful, because Yazu is flanking in very nicely and putting pressure on Stukov. Lavakal was super low there. But with the portals, they can still start to chase them a little bit. Good portal control here from Medivh, though. Medivh not only great when you follow up on the taunts from Varian, but also if you want to make the portal plays a little bit more difficult for the opponent's team. So, yeah. Up at the top, we got Dequaza now going up against Richu. So Leo against Sonia, as you would expect with the two side laners here. Baseline quest for Medivh is slowly stacking up. We got, as usual, our Mana Addict for Kelthas. And with that, of course, he's going to try and get it done, the quest done, roughly by the time that your opponent is level 10. That's the dream. You want to be a little bit safer. Makes it a bit easier for yourself. But, yeah. So, there we go. Already got our first camp taken, and they went for a bit more of an aggressive rotation here, since they didn't go for their own camp, but instead went down and took the neutral one first, so makes it easier for them to get 2 out of the 3 camps. Blue team was busy on the left side to take those Khazras. And at this point, Greymane, they can attack you quite nicely. So this is actually pretty cool. If you have Lavakal to zone them at this point, then Greymane can make a move. But look at that gravity lapse. Damn, son. Absolutely on point. I like it. That was a fantastic job. And now with level 4, we got Taunt in their house. Varian can move in again. And Varian, he's super excited. He's been practicing his insults and his taunts in front of a mirror all day long. And there's really some great ones out there. I mean, the easiest ones are currently the Your Mom insults, but I've been really impressed by some of the stuff that you guys have been coming up with, not only on Twitch, but also in the YouTube comments the last time that we talked about it. I really need to write them down at some point. There's obviously the classics, like Your Mom is so fat, Thrall's lightning bounces 3 times on her alone. But yeah, there's a lot of really, really good stuff. Your mom is so fat when Stukov tries to shove her, it just breaks his arm. There's some really good ones, but yeah, everybody is always coming up with some new ones. It's actually kind of funny because the other day I was checking my YouTube comments again, and YouTube held some in review because they were deemed as inappropriate or offensive. And I was just like, really? So I checked them out, and it was all the your mom jokes when people came in with their own taunt variations. It was absolutely glorious. Loved it. But yeah, either way. So Varian is already sitting here, trying to come in. It's especially easy for him when he goes up against Anduin, because every single time he wants to make Anduin mad, the only thing that he has to say is just like, "You were a mistake. We didn't want you." And Anduin just loses the shit. Either way, from one ruthless insult to another, we now have the first objective up for grabs, and both teams are fully committed without level 7 being in play for any of the teams yet. But the blue team is taking the point and taking the lead. It's a small one, but they got a 5-point lead now, with Greymane jumping in and trying to negate it. But as the red team commits, they're zoning them away fairly easily. The portal into the back line already threatening French. 35 to 35. This is so close. It's down to the wire. 37 to 37, 38, 39 on both sides. And it's the blue team that takes it. Damn, son. 3 heroes down. God, this is one of the typical situations where I talk about how it could have flipped the other side. 39 to 39. And then not only does the French team get the Punisher, but they also get 3 kills as everybody is jumping in here. Damn. Medivh didn't die though. Medivh didn't die. That means that he at least holds on to his stacks on the baseline. He's sitting at 32. You don't want to lose that. But boy, oh boy, was that close. But the French, they took it. They took it in the decisive moment, and they reap the rewards. They get the fort, they get the lead in experience, and now they can push the mid lane as well. Absolutely insane. That was crazy good for them. Medivh, again, he could have a bigger impact once that he gets the quest completion, always assuming that he gets to that point. We now get the growing infestation, so going fully into the build with a lurking arm as a priority. Level 10, soon TM for the Frenchies. But yeah, they are in a fantastic spot now. As Nagrom is going shark surfing over here. But portal is out. Oh, they actually go for it. There's the taunt. Medivh shields himself as he should, and Alvarez gets out. Nearly into the arms of Leo, but he was able to get away. 34 stacks. You don't want to risk that. That's something that you just cannot risk. Gotta play it safe until you're done. And yeah, there's the taunt on Greymane. Has the shield out though. Talking about shields, 15 stacks for Khaldor. They have the level 10, and that is the real risk. Yeah, nice on the Entomb, but that's also a good reaction from Stukov and from Medivh. Problem is that Johanna gets caught just a second later, and that is the end of her. Another taunt as they're trying to make a move for Greymane. Quest completed for Alvarez. Now he can be a bit more careful. Nice arrow there from Hanzo, and also the living bomb was another threat. But now that Alvarez has his baseline completed, he can definitely be a bit more generous with his shields. Doesn't have to think about himself first all the time. So, top side, we have Dequaza still pushing for the next one down at the bottom of the map, obviously, with the fort already destroyed earlier. It's now another play made for the wall at the front, so yeah, damage, 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 damage. Lots of pressure. But it's level 10 versus level 10, so now with heroic abilities, they have a chance to bring this back a little bit. There is an opportunity to fight on the next objective on an even footing, and then try and get the lead. Not gonna be easy, but so far we haven't even seen a single kill for the Polish team, so something to change. Another camp that's been... Alvarez obviously gives them a lot of vision here. There's the ley line. They're setting it up. 4 heroes hit. And they try to come in straight for Khaldor. And they murder him. Khaldor is down. They immediately retreat. The arrow not successful. But twice dies for the second time. He died twice now. So yeah, 6 kills to 1. And I'm actually lying. That's the 3rd time. Oh okay. Shield on Sonya, and then she gets killed a second later by Hanzo. So 7 kills to 1, but times are tough for the Polish team. Yep, they're trying to get away here, and they do thanks to the portal. But it doesn't change the fact that now it's only half a level for the French team to get to level 13. The objective is already up. The shrine has been activated. Another camp gets stolen, bringing them closer and closer to level 13. And topside, not only has the wall been destroyed, but also the fort has taken damage. Which means that if they get this Punisher, this is not going to be an obstacle. And they can then push for the first keep here. So, yeah, tough times. Tough times for the Polish team. 20,000 damage for Medivh. He's top damage on the red team. Top damage. Medivh looking good. What they need are kills. They need kills, and they are not even going for the objective. They realize this isn't happening, so instead they're splitting their forces on 2 lanes. The goal obviously being to not only push out the lanes a little bit, but also to make sure that they get level 13. The problem is that the blue team is responding immediately by attacking the top fort without even using the Punisher. So, with that done, we now have a Mortar Punisher pushing for the top wall. 7 kills to 1. Oh boy. Interestingly enough, Kel'Thas is still not done with his quest. He's actually a bit late to that, so not a lot of good... The stacking is really a little bit questionable from Panda Colada here. To be fair, a lot of rotations going on in aggressive fights. There's another portal already been set up. In comes the Entomb from Leo. Yeah, slaps by Stukov, but the gravity lapse. Glorious. The CC train that is getting unleashed by the French is stellar. They get the kills. Yes, they lose Varian, but this is still looking very good for them. Alvarez is under pressure. Big arrow, and Johanna gets Hanzo'd. Johanna got Hanzo'd. Dequaza dies to the keep. And the top lane, keep talking about it, is super low. But they're diving in again. Trying to come in from the side, flanking, and get some damage. But it's just not enough. Top keep is not going to be destroyed here because the death timers are still low enough for the red team to make it back into the battle to defend this. But with 10 kills to 3, it's now a 1.5 level lead for the blue team. Looking really strong here. Down at the bottom of the map. Bit of damage done by the Khazra camp at least, but yeah, obviously not really enough to make a dent. The defense is still too strong from the French. We have them with all their forts still in play. There's no catapult pressure whatsoever against the blue team, whereas they themselves now control all of the lanes without problems. So, yeah. But alright, we have level 16. And an immediate attack by the French as they're trying to go for another kill. Atrax attempting to move out. What about Jojo? She's also still at... Oh, they turn it and they kill Leo. But Greymane is also lost. They just can't get a kill without losing a hero immediately. The 4th kill that they got, but they also suffer the loss of Greymane, and Leo obviously is not only scouting for the team now on the other side of the gate, but he is also going to respawn on site and can then immediately be of value and used to them again. Malfurion surviving throughout all of this, and uh-oh! Gravity Labs, alright, this time no value for them. Dequaza back to business in a second. They can go through the side wall here too if they want to have additional views, and they do. So vision is there. Gate is also gone, and now it is Medivh that they're trying to home in on. Can't quite... Well, actually, no, they can get the kill. They can get the kill. The ley line was too late to change that. The follow-up from Jojo with the Condemn is there, but can they... Yes, they can get a kill. Kel'Thas is down, but again, Greymane dies. He came back, saw a target, went for it, took it down, and then he died a second later. Now, Jojo is also gone. That fight just continues. 14 kills to 5, and they're moving in for Lavakal. Stukov is dead. The French team, more and more momentum for them. Bit of damage against them up at the top 4. There was a camp that took some of the hit points down, but they are operating behind enemy lines at this point. 16 to 16, even talents for the two teams here. We now have 30,000 damage for Johanna, 62,000 for Hanzo. He's doubling the damage numbers for the highest damage dealer on Poland's side. And it's actually also insane. Just look at them. Stukov, 27,000. Jojo, 30,000. Medivh, 30,000 as well. Greymane trailing. He's only at 27k. But the damage is very equally distributed between all of them. Now, with another objective up, this is looking just way too good for France. Poland has to go here. They gotta go. They can't wait this one out. They have to. And they move in for it. This is now or never. They're gonna throw a Hail Mary here and throw everything against the French team that they have. Yeah, the French are doing what they do best, initially at least. They retreat. But only to just gather their forces and then move back in. Arrow in the back line. Nice. And they get the kill on Medivh. They go for Jojo. And Johanna is gonna fall too. Yep, it is the beginning of the end. The objective will be claimed by the French team. There's no denying that. But, of course, right here, Sonia, she falls. Hanzo with one kill after another. Greymane falls to Leo. The entire team gets wiped off the map with the exception of Stukov. And honestly, I don't think he's going to make it either. Stukov, you can run, you can hide, baby. He goes down. Level 20 any second now. And this is all she wrote. They go for the bottom keep here to make sure that the Punisher arrives at the core. They Quasar trying to commit Sudoku apparently. With success, congratulations. Round of applause for him. Able to go down again. Nice trait activation by Leoric. And this is the 2-0 lead in this best of 5 for the French team, for the favorites. They pull it off. They take another kill. And it's a 2-0 for France against Poland after another victory on Infernal Shrines. GG. Game number 3, Towers of Boom, everybody. The 2-0 lead for the Frenchies. The Polish team struggling a little bit. Some really good moves, don't get me wrong. I mean, they are really giving it their all, and some of those plays, especially the first fight over a Shrine and over a Punisher, if they get that last minion and they are the ones to get a kill or two, then it's a completely different game. But again, results don't lie. At the end of the day, nobody cares anymore how close it was. All that people care about is results. It's actually one thing in sports in general. I mean, it doesn't really matter how heartbreaking and how close a series was. In the moment, obviously, people are always like, yeah, I was really close, and yeah. But if you look back a couple of years later at results, nobody cares anymore. It's just all about like the naked results and who at the end of the day won, and that's the case here too. So Poland hoping, of course, for at least a map win, ideally a reverse sweep. But let's see if they can pull it off. The French, they are coming in here as the favorite. They are looking strong. They're doing what they're supposed to. They don't have Masquerade with them today, who apparently can't play today. And somebody even suggested earlier that he's not going to be able to play throughout the entirety of May. Now, I'm not quite sure if that's true. But if that's the case, then they will have to play a fair amount of matches without their main tank. Either way, talking about tanks, we get twice on Stitches. Dehaka and Nubarak banned against the Polish team. And here comes Urel and Junkrat. Okay, let's have a party. Yeah, Towers of Doom, obviously. Banning out Dehaka makes a whole lot of sense. Still a map where you could see Falstad would also combo well for the Polish team with Stitches if you go Gorge and you try an isolation play. Could do that. Other heroes, we've seen Vikings a lot in the first group stage, for example, here in Towers. But the first thing that happens is we're getting the Crybaby, we're getting Anduin, and there's the birdie. Falstad is taken as well. So Anduin is in the house now. The pretty boy with way too much hair. And that leads us to the bans. So, let's go. What are the French gonna pull off here? I liked the move into Kalthas, by the way. I really like that in some of these instances we're now getting to see Kalthas as one of the advantages when heroes can only be played once within a series, because you sometimes get a pick like Kalthas. He's obviously nice for Infernal Shrines, generally speaking, but the control that he gives you with the Gravity Lapse in particular is just awesome if you have a player that knows what he's doing. And we've seen just over the last couple of months so much more Kalthas plays. Meta Madness obviously being the standout tournament where he has seen a lot of play. But if you have nice CC and then Kalthas comes in with damage and additional CC on top of what you're already running, whew, you can do a lot there. So, yeah. Either way, what we have for the blue team is the next double pick. We still need a main tank for them. Towers of Doom, Stitch has already been claimed, Garrosh has been eliminated. And we get a Tyrael. And Tracer. I said it in game number 1, but I have to point it out again. It's so funny and so interesting to me to see all of these guys that have continuously played supports now playing damage. And again, fully aware they played damage in other instances, especially of course in their own games, but when it comes to competitive play, they've nearly exclusively played supports. So seeing them all of a sudden in the damage role is just super fun. Because it's just not something that after you've been conditioned for years now, seeing them in a support role, all of a sudden they're just going ham at the front line. It's just super, super interesting. Richo and Zul. So with Zul we have nice rotations between the top lane, and we get Sergeant Hammer. It's Hammer time again, and we've seen Sergeant Hammer a lot. This is just in this first round of the round robin, just on play day number 1, we've now seen Hammer already 3 times. Yasuo, final pick for the blue team, and it is Kerosene. Okay, more damage from them, more mobility. That brings us to the first match point for the French team. The French are in the lead, not a situation that they're used to. But we got Yasuo and Kerosene, Banana H on Tracer, Panda Colada is playing Junkrat for the Frogs, and Nagrom on Tyrael with Dequaza on Urel. Every Nations Cup when I talk about the French team, I'm reminded of the last time that I was in France and where we went to like a proper restaurant in the evening to get some decent food, and they had snails, and oh, it was absolutely delicious. Some snails and some garlic sauce, oh, so damn good. So yeah, very, very yummy. Those guys, they know how to do food. Alvaros on the right side for the Polish team with Sergeant Hammer. We got Richo and Zul, Lavakal on Anduin, Itrax on Falstad, and Twice is playing Stitches. Alright, party time. Level 1, we got the parting gift. And at the top, first of all, it's Hammer time. That's the first thing. Hammer time in the middle of the map as they're starting to push this back here. Down to the bottom of the map, Junkrat is doing his thing. And at least for now, the red team just doesn't care. They're realizing that there's nobody here in the middle, and they're like, you know what? Let's take that tower down. Falster can fly down to the bottom of the map and deal with everything there. We get some value in the middle, and then we can still retreat. So, good on them. Alvaros, though, yeah, gets pulled. Anduin, by the way, I mean, he's been working out a little bit. I know he is a bit, I mean, again, he's a bit on the geeky side, right? He's not really chat level or anything, but he's been working out. I mean, have you seen that? He actually pulled an entire tank over. He's been going to the gym, he's been benching, you know, really going through the motions here, and pretty impressive. So, yep. The big guns, the big guns. Going for the camp, yeah. I like the start at least for the Polish team. As I said, they got a lot of value in the middle, taking the towers down. So now they're moving in for the camp, but apparently Tracer wants to go for that too. She's not really too happy with Sergeant Hammer on the other hand, can't dodge auto attacks. The camp is still stolen, and now they're body blocking twice. This is a good old-fashioned Warcraft 3 surround that we got there. Easy surround, easy kill. Stitches is also a little bit more on the heavy side, and therefore easy to take down. Have you, by the way, seen this thing? There was this thing that went viral with like a TikToker. TikTok is, by the way, such a fantastic platform. It's so insanely stupid, but the amount of stupid that it generates is very entertaining. That one person was running around and saying that airlines should support and pay for 2 seats for fat people. Glorious, absolutely glorious. I mean, yeah. The amount of stupid that some people can produce in a single video is so glorious. It is very entertaining. So yeah, never change TikTok, never change. Yeah, if you want to know why humanity is not going to make it, create a TikTok account and scroll through a couple of videos. Zul at this point, he's down, so that's the second kill for the French team. They're doing really well. And at the same time, Falstad at the top is down. Alright. What I actually think would be the best thing, if they... airlines always argued, at least to an extent, right? That it's a question with like weight and how much you can, for example, carry the 20 kilograms luggage for carry-on and whatever. That it's a question of fuel, right? Fuel calculations. I would be very much in favor that they are making some kind of thing where you have to, for example, pay per kilogram or something. That would be absolutely awesome. I'm talking body weight here too, just weigh people. That would be the most fairest thing, and I'm a little bit more on the heavy side than most people because of muscle mass and everything, so that would actually be bad for me, given my size, my height. But that would be kind of funny. Can you imagine when all of a sudden you have a scale that you have to hop on? It's like, nah, I'm good, I'm paying the extra, I don't want to see my weight. That would have really interesting knock-on effects. I can see a ton of people that would be like, yeah, nah, I don't really want to know, I'm good. Nah, thank you. It would be really interesting. Anyways, totally different topic, so let's not dive too deep into that. We have 2 shrines claimed by the Polish team. They're pulling ahead here. It took them 2 games, but now they've taken the lead. They are still behind in kills, so we should not overlook that. But they have taken 2 out of the 3 altars. Zul at the top might be in a bit of trouble here, though, against Tracer. She's starting to nibble on the edges. Tracer is going to have an interesting game ahead of her, because there's a lot of auto attack damage that she has to deal with as this continues. That was a really nice follow on Zul, and they even get the kill on Falstad, so a double kill for the French team. Job well done. And that is not too shabby. Alright, me likey. Now, down to the bottom of the map. Alvarez, Lavakal, they're all making their moves. Talking about flying, by the way. I've been flying actually quite a bit lately again. And I am really big fan of a lot of the budget flyers out there, but the one thing that apparently is impossible for them is, can these guys keep a schedule? Even if I have a flight at 6 o'clock in the morning, they always seem to be at least an hour late. It's insane. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you would assume this is the second or the first flight of the day, and they still manage to be an hour late. It's just crazy. Talking about being late. Once again, the red team is too late to take their camp here. It gets claimed by the French, and now they have 6 kills to 1. And they're on level 9, a full level lead. We got the Vile Cleaver and the Putrefaction for the Polish Stitches. And it seems like Falstad is not going to make it up at the top either. He would have loved to fly out of this one, but apparently he couldn't. So after initially the Polish team took 2 out of the 3 altars, now they're starting to fall very quickly behind. It's a bit tricky at this point. It's like, yeah, not too great over here. So 7 kills to 1. Not a good indicator for the Polish team. 32 to 32 points, level 10 abilities. Again, you can't even approach the altar at this point in time. All you can hope for is that nasty hook out of left field from Stitches that might net you a quick and dirty kill. So that's what they're hoping for right now, as they're still attempting to bridge the gap in experience, but it also leads to Zul being attacked at the top again. Falstad now coming in to help out a bit. And he should be able to help here, but 7-sided strike! Oh, and Richu gets out! And Karazim just follows! Karazim follows, gets the kill, but also falls to the bell tower. Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Not bad. Yeah. Oh boy. 8 kills to 2. And they're making another move this time for Tyrael down here. But yeah, the hits keep coming. 1.5 level gap, but they get the kill on Nagrom. Alright, bye-bye. 1 down, doesn't even get explosion value. And with level 10 in their hands, we have, of course, after the talents that he took on level 4 and 7, now the Putric Bile over Gorge. Tracer is also dead. All of a sudden, the Polish team is starting to bring this back, aren't they? They're closing the gap in experience a little bit, still trailing by half a level, but they're getting there. 7-sided strike didn't do anything up at the top. Falstad, of course, still threatened continuously. But they're doing work. And they're getting structures. Sergeant Hammer can capitalize on the level 7. Went for the BFG. Blunt force gun. That's not what BFG means. And yep. Off we go. If you know one thing ever since Doom, this means big fucking gun. It's just what it is. You can try and PC that all you want, but that's not gonna change. So, top side. Another hit by Falstead. The birdie is having a rough one because every single time that Itrax just shows up anywhere, it's everybody on the bird. Tracer is jumping in, Karazim is jumping in. These guys all, yeah, they're just great when it comes to good food. They like chicken wings, chicken breast, you know, just nice. Shots fired on both sides. Everybody is able to get some shots together. It was a top left, top right order situation, so it's an even split. Run, birdie! And he's dead. It's kind of annoying for Falstad. He used everything that he had in order to survive, and then he gets still killed. But the battle isn't over, and he baited them in deep. Sanctification used by Tyrael might just allow them to go for another kill, and they are herding Anduin into a corner and take him down. So that's kill number 2. The French here just wrecking them, going for Zul and getting themselves another kill. That's the third one in a row now. And I guess that Stitches is not going to survive either. So 4 kills for them as Sergeant Hammer is using her PhD in PvE at the bot lane to take some minions down. That BFG, too little, too late. That doesn't do anything here. Bell Tower is nearly converted over too. 12 kills to 4. Again, they're the favorites, of course, in this particular series, and they are doing such a great job. It's fantastic coordination that we're seeing from the French team here. Maybe at this point they're getting a little bit too confident, and it costs them 2 heroes. Falstad finally gets his revenge. That Gust didn't do anything, though. The angle was definitely off, and now Itrax is able to survive thanks to Anduin. So they're trying to bring it back again, but of course that Bell Tower topside was already lost. And I guess that's the end of Karazim. Yes, another good hook. You know what? They might just get the kill here against Nagrom. Yeah, they're getting the kills. Indeed they do. Nagrom dies, and that is kill number 8 for the Polish team. Good for them. Nice. All right. Sergeant Hammer, by the way, is still alone at the bottom of the map. Once we're having more 5 versus 5 battles, I mean, we could honestly see them capitalize on Sergeant Hammer a little bit more, just getting these hits in against Tracer. So that's definitely an opportunity. Not sure what exactly happened there, but apparently something on the side of the Polish team. Now, doesn't seem like anybody disconnected. But, of course, we have a single altar now spawning. Bell Tower control firmly in the hands of the French team. But Itrax is going to be able to claim this one in time. So that tower up at the top is going to be taken back by them. Then they're going to have a 4 versus 4 situation. The more pressing problem is the level 16 talent that France is going to get. And the French, they have to be a bit careful because actually... Interestingly enough, I spoke about this, I believe, in the first series that we had today, which, if I'm not mistaken, was Germany playing. And that is that if there is a team out there that I can totally see losing a map or two because they're trolling a little bit too much, it's definitely the French team. And they don't even have the biggest troll here today. So they are starting to YOLO a bit heavily into those bell towers and lost at least 3 to 4 heroes because of that. If they continue that, they might end up eventually losing a map. And in a round robin, where we have now 7 players in total, that could become a problem. That could become a big problem. Because maps count quite significantly, and it's not only about qualifying for Berlin, right? It's not only about hitting the top 4. You also want to have a good position, a good seed within those top 4, so that you have an easier time in the bracket that is being played at the playoffs there. So that's another thing. Talking about damage, by the way, we got Tracer on 30,000. She died 3 times. It's kind of interesting that Sergeant Hammer and Junkrat are the only 2 that have not died even once yet in this game. But again, Tracer, 30,000 damage. And just look at what Karazim has been doing so far. Karazim is currently at 29,000 damage himself. He's been hyper-aggressive, also with the 7-sided strikes that we've seen. And particularly the attack at the top where he jumped over the wall and then even got a kill on False that comes to mind. Seems like we had a disconnect here after all. So yeah, Sergeant Hammer dropped. 21,000 damage, 100,000 on the siege. And still applying pressure down here at the bottom of the map. I honestly wonder if they're going to let the next altar go because it's going to be a level 16 advantage for the opponent's team. They could hope or try to go into the late game and yeah, maybe just scale there. As long as they still keep their bell towers under control, it should be fine. But you would assume that this is going to be another 4 shots fired against Poland. But since it's 28 points against 24, it isn't too bad right now. So this is still salvageable by the team in red. But again, once that we're having Sachin Hammer back to business, we're going to see what they're going to do around the current objective. I think it's definitely clear that Itrax is going to reclaim this in time, one way or another, and then they just have to decide how they want to play this out. The next altar phase is also going to be a triple altar, so that's going to be the more important one compared to what we're going to see next. All right, we're back, and apparently Alvaro's made it. Good for him. I honestly got worried. We had more than 10 minutes of a break in total, I think, in order to get him back. But yep, he's back to business now. After level 13, the hook range obvious. Wow, they actually stole this with Stitches and his boys. So it's 24 to 24. The blue team didn't even rotate over to it. That's actually the best case scenario for Poland. Able to sneak that in. I didn't even check the altar because I just was fully under the impression that the blue team would grab this since they had the talent advantage, but no, instead it gets stolen away. We got the Way of 100 Fists, by the way. Poland can wait for their 16, and then it's a battle for the triple altar phase. So as it stands, this is actually incredibly even considering how quickly France pulled ahead earlier. And again, it is because they like to trollolololol a bit. Ult's being used here. Yeah, the Quasar waiting for the cooldown, jumps back out, but the attack is still on. Sanctification had to be used. Here comes the BFG from the bottom of the map. Bile used as well, and now Grom is gone. And this is a perfect case of the French maybe getting punished for being too confident. Zul falls, so it's a 4 versus 4 now. And the triple altar phase is going to come up next, as I already mentioned. We got the double pull from Anduin now with the level 16. We get the mechanical know-how even on level 20. So adjustments have already been made here with the pulverize. Also 4 stitches available on the front line, slowing them down even further. Triple altar phase is up, and now it becomes interesting. Who's taking the lead here? Who's able to grab this? Well, and with Sergeant Hammer being annihilated this quickly, I think we can safely say that Tracer is just totally destroying them. Falstad and Anduin are all dead, and yeah, this escalated very quickly. 4 heroes dead, all 4 of them gone. What on earth just happened? Sergeant Hammer was supposed to be the ace in the hole for Poland against the French Tracer, and now they're going to lose all 3 of those altars, meaning the core will drop down to 12 points. Well, always assuming that they're not taking any of these bell towers before they channel, and given that they still have full control over the map, I guess they're going to get at least 1, maybe even a second one. The bottom bell tower has been claimed, and over here in the middle, they might just have enough damage to take this one too, but yeah, not in time. So instead, 5 shots fired, we're down to 11. And they are pressuring on all lanes. They want to go for the barrage here. Don't think they can go that deep, but boy, did they quickly... They turned on the heat in that fight as Poland was trying to steal the camp away. And Tracer had no problem to push into Sergeant Hammer. They were not able to protect her at all. Not enough peel there either. Now with a top bell tower in trouble, the one in the middle is in a similar position. Tracer just zipping around. Damage numbers obviously increased accordingly. We have 44,000 damage for her, 47,000 for Karazim, who's still crushing it. They're pushing in the middle, and they're taking the bell tower in the middle. So now they control 6 bell towers, and this one is way too low for comfort. All you need at this point is a good engage. You could even cheese it with Sanctification, just move in and force it, and then get the attack started. Sergeant Hammer is down at the bottom of the map, so that means that you have a 5 versus 4 at the top for the blue team. They are a little bit low here, so they gotta be careful with that. But the Riptire is already zoning them away. Gets the hit connected. They can jump in. Sergeant Hammer still trying to claim at the bottom. There's the Sanctification. They're forcing the fight. It's a 5 versus 4. They take 1 kill. They aim for number 2. Can't take Falstad down. But they might... Well, actually they can. They kill all of them. No! Really? died there as well. Shots are fired. The core is down to 9 points. Sergeant Hammer desperately attempting to get control of the bottom bell tower back so that the barrage stops, but it's shot after shot after shot. We're down to 7. The altar is up, and this is going to be a game. They can easily go for the altar at this point and channel it through, or just simply try and protect the bell tower here. Either way, they're going to win the game. Sergeant Hammer is already gone twice. He is in a checkmate position. There's just no play for him to make. Richu can't get close enough to that bell tower either. Junkrat at least is gone. Maybe they can stop it, but nope. The answer is nope. It is game. It is a 3-0 victory for France as the favorite takes down Poland here at the qualifier for the Nations Cup.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.